Clash at the Castle is in the books, and we now look forward to Monday Night Raw in Corpus Christi, Texas, with Clash at the Castle giving us one hell of a main event, and a very controversial one at that, which saw CM Punk screw Drew McIntyre out of the World Heavyweight Championship. Damian Priest walks out of Scotland still the World Heavyweight Champion. What is Punk going to do? What is McIntyre going to do? How does WWE build going into Money in the Bank? And the Wyatt family, all the QR codes, all the vignettes lead to tomorrow night, where they have been saying a massacre is coming. I got the latest on Bo Dallas and the new Wyatt Six group and their plans and what WWE is thinking of creatively for them right here on OTS. Adam Hangman Page, he could be returning to AEW television very soon, but what role will he play going into Blood and Guts? And Chad Gable officially resigns with the WWE. We will go over what he stated in a very upfront and personal interview about the topic right here today on this Sunday's episode of OTS. And we will start with Adam Hangman Page going into AEW Blood and Guts. Adam Page has been out of action since early March and AEW Revolution. Page has not been injured. He took time off for personal reasons and had contractually obligated time off to tend to these issues. Prior to that, he's been engaged in a lengthy feud with Swerve Strickland, who since has become the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. After what will end up being nearly 4 months out of action, Fightful Select is told that Page is poised for a return. Now, they don't have a date nailed down, but it is expected to be within the next month, likely by early July, which lines up with AEW just announcing Blood and Guts. Thus far, Fightful's not heard of any creative plans for Page, though they should be very obvious. Though he was expected to continue as a heel, says Fightful. I don't think that will be the case. They're also told if Adam Page's absence is added to his current contract, or if it was just worked in, they don't know. But we're told, says Fightful, that the absence wasn't a surprise to both sides, and they knew it was coming. Despite Dynamite being near his home this week, Fightful's not heard that he's planned to be on the show, which, I mean, the show was booked last minute anyway, so they could always call up Page on Wednesday and say, hey, man, can you be here? Let's get you into the show, and let's start building towards Blood and Guts. Adam Hangman Page, has been sorely missed on television. One of their top stars. I love Page. I think he's a solid act on the show, and he's very good at what he does. The entire storyline of the Elite taking over the company, or whatever the fuck this story is leading to, there is no payoff for it, honestly. If you guys want to really, get down to brass tacks here, there is no fucking story, and there is no direction for where this is going, and there's no payoff. The only thing that matters here are two things: Kenny Omega and Adam Page. Kenny Omega was fired by the Elite, and Adam Page was suspended by the Elite. So the story of the Elite getting rid of two of their best friends is the story, but both of these men have been off television. Page has been out for personal reasons, and Kenny Omega is dealing with diverticulitis. He won't be back till God knows when. And the only thing that makes sense is for him to come back and get revenge for being fired and going after Okada, who's made comments towards Kenny Omega stating that he's the best in the world and Omega is not. That's the story. Tony Khan was just a fucking publicity stunt that failed and went nowhere. Adam Page, though, not injured. He's going to be back to television, and he's going to fit right into Team AEW on Blood and Guts. Now, I could see him come back to the Elite. I could see him joining the Elite and going and reviving his feud with Swerve Strickland, being on the opposite side, because Swerve, from what we saw on Wednesday, will probably be leading Team AEW into Blood and Guts. Who will be on his team? I don't know. The Elite stated that they wanted to recruit Swerve Strickland to make it 5-on-5. Now, there is no rules for Blood and Guts. It could be 5-on-5. It could be 4-on-4. I don't think it really matters what the number of participants are on each side. If they want to remain with 4, they could certainly do that. Okada, the Bucks, and Jack Perry against Swerve, the Acclaimed, and Adam Page. I think that would be the easy direction to go. But if you're going to bring back Page and align him with the Elite and make it 5 on the Elite side and then 3 on Swerve's side, which is him and the Acclaimed, who are going to be the other 2 men that Swerve enlists for Team AEW? Not many people make sense. This is why I don't really think Blood and Guts is revolving around story. It's revolving on or around, hey man, chaos. Hey man, blood. Hey man, look at this great big match we're doing that doesn't really have any rhyme or reason for happening. And we're just picking guys at random to put on Team AEW because the guys that we want are out. MJF fits into that group, but MJF has got bigger and better things to deal with. Don't know why he would want to meddle in that instead of going after the World Heavyweight Championship. That should be his primary focus. If it's not his primary focus, then it's just a fucking black mark on creative again. Because I don't know why he would want to be back and not go after the World Championship, because he was fucked out of the World Championship in December on Long Island. Not many people make sense here. AEW's best course of action is to keep it 4-on-4 and have Adam Page look at the Elite and say, hey guys, you changed. I don't want to be aligned with you because of the way you're acting. This is my home. You're treating it like a piece of shit, and you're going to make me do the one thing I don't want to do, and it's aligned with this fucking guy who I've been in a feud with since October. And that's Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. I think that would be a nice take on that. They come together for the common good, and then they go and resume their feud if they need to after the fact. That's where I'm going with that. But Page is returning right in time for Blood and Guts, and that's the right move to make creatively. Chad Gable. He resigns with the WWE and attributes his success to Paul Levesque. Chad Gable has committed to staying with WWE, confirming his new contract during an interview with the Gorilla Position podcast. Gable explained that his career trajectory shifted significantly once Triple H took over. He noticed an immediate change even while he was part of a tag team with Otis. He says, and I quote, "Yes, I have resigned." He said when asked if he signed a new contract, what I'll say regarding this, Hunter, Triple H, when he got started with us and took over, I think you saw my trajectory change almost immediately. Even when I was in a tag team with Otis, I started getting singles matches with some of our top guys. To me, a light bulb went off. Things might be different now, and they have been ever since. He's delivered on everything he's ever told me. End quote. Gable began receiving singles matches against top guys, which indicated to him that things were different under the new leadership of Triple H. Triple H's efforts to ensure everyone had consistent presence on television, whether in minor or major segments, became very evident. This consistency and fulfillment of promises have been crucial for Gable to stay with the company, leading to what he describes as the best run of his life. Fact. So he questioned about the length, or he was questioned about the length of the contract. Gable chose not to disclose those specific details. That doesn't really matter to us as long as he's staying with the company. The timing of his contract also is very notable. Gable has an Intercontinental Championship feud underneath him right now with Sami Zayn. We saw him lose at Clash of the Castle on Sunday, and in my honest opinion, I think the story is going to continue on into Monday. Another big topic going into Monday, Gable's body language and Gable's facial expressions at the end of that match on Saturday afternoon told the entire story. He needs to drop the dead weight. We may see the full-fledged turn of Otis on Chad Gable, and we may get a new Alpha Academy aligned with Gable in the form of the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus. From what we saw on Saturday afternoon, Gable and the facial expression at the end of that match, which basically we saw Otis and Maxine walk away from Gable right before the conclusion of that match, that, in all accounts, could be looked at as the turn by Otis betraying Chad Gable. That was him walking away, and that was him abandoning his best friend and just giving in to say, hey, man, I'm tired of the manipulation tactics. I'm going to take Maxine and get out of here. For all we know, that was the turn, and then we get Gable doubling down on his heel run, basically putting the boots to Otis, kicking all of the old Alpha Academy out, and grouping up with another new Alpha Academy, which is basically the Creeds. I think that's going to work out on Monday. We'll see what happens come Monday, but I do think that we're maybe leaning towards another match. I know a lot of people are upset about Gable not winning, but again, you got to look at the long-term vision. I think Sami Zayn going into Canada, where he's from, And dropping the championship to Gable there would be a great move to just add more heel heat to Chad Gable. Well, why would Triple H do that? I mean, look at what we saw on Saturday. He had the biggest fucking talent coming out of Scotland losing the main event for long-term booking. Why wouldn't he do that to Sami Zayn? Why wouldn't he play that out in Canada for Chad Gable and have Sami Zayn drop the title in Canada to get Chad Gable the ultimate heel heat? I think that works out beautifully. And Solomonster and I talked about that on Tuesday. That was actually his idea. And I didn't really think of that. And that was a great play. And I do see after Saturday, we head in that direction. We'll see on Monday if Triple H does forward this story going into that direction. And it's one of the best stories that WWE's been telling right now on Monday Night Raw. Speaking of Raw, we could see the end of Raw end with the Wyatt family. Bo Dallas and this new Wyatt family reincarnation led by Uncle Howdy. Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Dexter Lumis, and Eric Rowan are all expected to be a part of the group with additional pieces that we haven't quite confirmed, says Fightful. Alexa Bliss's name has been tagged alongside the Wyatt family. Joe Gacy from NXT, who's been absent on NXT, has been lined up with the group. Rowan was recently re-signed with the company and was at the Performance Center preparing for his return. Bo Dallas has remained under contract since 2022, when he was brought back under the Uncle Howdy persona when Wyatt himself was still on television before he took a leave of absence. Dexter Lumis has been off television for well over a year, and we were simply told he wasn't injured whenever Fightful did ask about where he was. Fightful also asked around about the upcoming stable and how it will play out on television. They were told that it's obviously been in the works for quite some time and that WWE thinks there's a real chance this will work in the modern-day WWE. There were hints in Bray Wyatt's documentary that they needed to do something that would make Bray proud. In addition, a heavy talking point was that it was often difficult to make the Fiend and Wyatt programs work in the ring, which is something that I've been very adamant about personally whenever I talked about this specific situation and possibility of the Wyatt family being on television. Sources in WWE that Fightful spoke to at least claimed or confirmed a little bit that wouldn't be an issue here, as there doesn't appear to be any supernatural elements as currently planned and presented for the group. The last time we asked, Uncle Howdy was slated to be a part of the group. There were also Mercy the Buzzard, Huskus the Pig, and White Rabbit characters being discussed, though a lot of the visuals surrounding the group are being kept close to the vest. The stable has been teased since the beginning of April, when Fightful Select confirmed that the end of Bray Wyatt's documentary, we saw teases referencing Bo Dallas and his upcoming return. The stable was planned even months prior, and a lot of work went into the costumes that were created. And a lot of work went into the QR codes, clearly, because that's not really something they're going to come up with on the fly week after week after week. One's not going to air, and then they begin work on another. It looks like those were elaborate. Those were very purposed, and they did a lot of work, and they went really hard on those QR codes, and they did that for over 2 months. So who knows how long all of this was planned. It was probably planned well before the documentary even aired for Bray Wyatt on the WWE Network. This is a good thing. The supernatural shit that was Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard, it doesn't work. It didn't work. I remember there was a story, the Judgment Day, when the Judgment Day first got together and we saw the beginning stages of Judgment Day, Vince wanted them to go supernatural. And we did see some of that with Damian Priest on Monday Night Raw several years ago. That is not going to work in 2024. The supernatural shit should die 1,000 deaths. I don't want to see any supernatural shit. I don't want to see people disappearing. I don't want to see fucking people manipulating fire. I don't want to see Alexa Bliss fucking summoning to whoever upstairs and lighting fixtures fall down from the ring. Remember all that shit? Alexa Bliss shooting fireballs at Randy Orton. We don't need none of this hokey, cringy garbage for the Wyatt family. One thing that should be a priority is they should be menacing, they should be violent, they should be vicious. They should have a plan. Why are they back? Who are they targeting? They should have someone in mind that they're targeting first. They should have a mission statement, and they should have an end goal. That's what the Wyatt family hopefully has coming onto television beginning on Monday, supposedly. The supernatural shit was never going to work. It didn't work then. It didn't work whenever they did it with Bray Wyatt. And it's not going to work now. Their biggest problem with Bray Wyatt was doing all that and then have it translate to a wrestling match. He could say the best things. He could cut the best promo. He could be looking absolutely amazing and have the greatest entrance in the history of the company. But when he gets in the ring and you see him under the red light, it all goes to shit because WWE focuses on the fucking hokey pokey shit, and they focus on the magic and they focus on the supernatural elements instead of letting Bray go out there and do what he was very good at, and that was wrestle and tell a fucking story. They never let him do that. It was always got to wrestle under the mask. Always got to tell this story about the Fiend character being impervious. He's got to wrestle under the red light. We don't need none of this shit. We don't need none of that. How is it going to translate from what they do and what they say to the feud and have it play out in the ring? That's the most important thing they need to focus on. I don't want to see Uncle Howdy wrestle under a fucking mask. I don't need to see Bo Dallas wrestle under the mask like Bray did. We all know that Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy. He needs to show his face. You want to pay homage to Bray? Then take the fucking mask off and be Bo Dallas, the brother of Wyndham. That's what I want to see. I don't need to see Uncle Howdy and not see Bo Dallas and his facial expressions and his mannerisms and the tone of his voice. That is Bo Dallas. I don't want to see all that hidden under a mask. It needs to be him humanized. And it needs to be him when he's cutting a promo or whenever he's scary and cutting a vignette. That's fine for Uncle Howdy. But when he's in the ring, the mask comes off and the Wyatt family is actually humanized and they wrestle. I want to see a brute group go out there and fucking kill and maim, and I want to see violence. That's what they're about. I miss the old Wyatt family, the Swamp Man Wyatt family. Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt. They didn't do none of that shit. They were fucking great. They were cool. They had the ambiance. They cut their promos in fucking the swamps. And then they got to the ring and they beat the shit out of you. They got to the ring and told a story. That's what we need to see. You want to pay homage to Bray Wyatt? That's the way you do it. Not with the fucking fire and the supernatural hocus pocus, all this other garbage. So I'm glad that the plan is to move away from all that and translate the character and have it mean something when it gets to the ring. Because the one problem that Bray had was taking everything he did away from the ring and having it play out in a feud. They failed at that. And they never captured that greatness that was everything else Bray did, but when it got to the ring, it fucking fell apart. So hopefully that's not the same with Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do on Monday. It's going to be a very newsworthy Monday night, and we will be live after the show is over right here on Off the Script tomorrow night after Raw. Guys, have a great Father's Day. If you're celebrating, happy Father's Day. If you guys want more content, Clash of the Castle and the post-show that was very good topics of discussion, very good discussion coming out of last night's stream, going into tomorrow. Make sure you guys go check that out. It's all on the homepage right now, so please go and check that out if you missed it. And anything else that's on the channel, episode 52 of Tuesday Night Titans with me and Solomonster, go and check that out as well. Everything you need is on the homepage. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. We are 40 subscribers away from 160,000 subscribers, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and please turn on the bell. Hit that thumbs up. And let's try for 1,000 likes right here on this Sunday's episode, this Father's Day episode of OTS. Guys, like I said, I'll see you tomorrow night after Monday Night Raw with a very newsworthy show coming out of Clash of the Castle right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.